I'm in the gallery and I thought I would talk about the process and evolution of this show. Mate, Mayet, EDDM, every door direct mail. This was something that I have sent out several times, several places, and I have enlarged it and put it on the wall, as with all the definitions. So I Xeroxed it, and while I was at FedEx Kinko's, I thought, well, first of all, the idea to put it in the gallery was somewhat whimsical and spontaneous. So when I found out that I could have the gallery space for November, I put this together in terms of, I didn't even know what I was going to show. There were possibilities if I had the time, but Mate has been done. And so I enlarged that, took it to FedEx Kinko's, and when I was there, I was thinking about how are you going to do the display? And I thought it would be nifty to put those Xerox definitions on another piece of paper or backing. So I looked at the decorative paper that they had at FedEx Kinko's, and the one I selected was one that looked like it was handmade paper, natural. And then while I was there, I was thinking, I want to get this done. I've got other things I need to do. This sort of work. The videos I've produced, pr0ject, part 1, 2, 1 of 2, and 2 of 2. So those have been very time consuming things to encompass and consolidate and put forth. And I chose to do this in the midst of that. And so at FedEx Kinko's, I'm like, yeah, it would finish it off to put it on a nice piece of paper. Now, what are you going to do? Tape it to the wall? You can do that. I have blue tape. The person before me, they didn't. So on that side of the wall, when they took their tape off, they took the paint with it. Anyway, rest assured, I have blue tape. It's going to leave the paint on the wall. Anyway, I didn't want to tape it, so I thought, while you're at FedEx Kinko's, they've got a glue stick. You can glue this, you could cut, because they've got the paper cutter. You can glue stick the definitions on an attractive backing, and why don't you punch holes top and bottom? Because I thought I'll run twine or thread or yarn, a little rope. I'll run that. As it turned out, I got back here and I'm looking. So I'm going to put this up in one evening. I didn't have rope, I didn't have twine, and I didn't have yarn, but I had some silver thread. And I purchased this metallic silver thread for my last necklace that I wore. It was silver, and it had a little clasp that went through the hole, and then a barb, but whenever I moved and ran, it would come undone. And then I fortunately find the necklace on the ground. I'm like, well, I want to put this necklace on and not worrying about it falling off. And so I sewed it with silver thread. And so I had silver thread in the house. So silver thread is what I've used to put all these strings of definitions. So there's a hole punch, and if I were to do it ideally in terms of meta, I would make this silver thread go right up to this one, so it's one continuity. But what I have is I've taken the lines and just knotted and strung the thread. through the top hole and the bottom hole. Now, one of the things that's happened, and I have looked because I wasn't sure, that door that opens, if it lets a gust of wind in, it's very gossamer-like. This is a very light display. And, you pull on one of those threads, the whole thing could come down, okay? It's very lightly constructed. And so I checked the door. What happens if I close it or open it really fast? What does the air do? And is it staying up? Are people looking at this? And, so when I come and go, I check to see if the display is still legible, if it's still how I arranged it. And one thing I noticed is, I don't know if you can see this, this one fell. Now, I had a little foresight, so it's just regular paper. I punched a hole in it. Well, first of all, I put a little bit of Scotch tape on it, then punched a hole. So it's kind of working like those adhesive reinforcements. They look like Lifesavers or Cheerios. So I put the Scotch tape on the back, then punched the hole. Well, one of those is, there's hooks. There's actually wires and hooks for this display area. So I started on a hook. And you know what? I've got a couple of hooks. Anyway. Anyway, I think someone tried to fix it and put it back on the hook, but they tore it. But it's still in place because of the silver thread. So, mate is all connected by silver thread to the hooks, and that's my little piece, plus an invite for people to, check it out. Now, one of the things is also, I had the foresight when I was at FedEx Kinko's to, when I made those holes with the hole punch, to keep the punched out holes, and I put them, it looks like litter, I put them at the base of the display. So I kept the hole punched from the definitions. They're on the floor. And what else? Bill. Bill lives in this building. He's an angry, complaining vet. And I was I was going to call it the sewing room. It's the art room, but I have my sewing machines in there. And I was in there sewing, and Bill came in to complain on me. And when he was done, he apologized, like, rah, 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 I just, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I understand you need to vent. Okay, that's my usual MO. I understand the value of venting, okay? But I have to say, when he left, and I've seen him sitting down here, right in front of this display, I'm kind of like, that was my old MO, because now what I think and feel is, Bill, you're not really looking. So, anyway, that's me talking about my display. I think that about covers it.